Hello there, and welcome back to Castile and Turning the Table, where we will be trying to most likely release a nation. It looks like if we take a look at the colonial region here, that colonial Mexico will basically be our colony here. We'll create a, well, rather big state ourselves before we do anything else, and hopefully we'll be able to use that to our advantage. And as you can see, colonial, I believe this is colonial, yeah, colonial Guyana actually gets the Caribbean as well, it seems. So we'll definitely go for colonial Mexico, and that'll be the area that we will be releasing. And as such, we'll actually send a 10,000 man army to the area to help out by subjugating the natives, and we'll also most likely convert the lands before we actually do anything else. So, with that note, I guess it's time to consider starting to move troops over. We'll be moving 10,000 troops, as I said, over to half our army. That is actually to try and help out, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem in the long run. Unfortunately, it seems like I did lose or will lose the navy here. Yes, they all vanished, fortunately, but nothing we can do with that right now. We'll basically hopefully be able to make it so that we can get that military access with the Mayas, and with that I should be able to take, well, to some extent over the just go straight out for the annexation of them and everyone else. But for now, we'll just wait for the guy to get back home. Then we'll get the military access. We'll probably end up sacrificing these 10 transport ships. So that should be noted. They will most likely not be coming back home. And I also should probably remember to hire a conquistador and bring as well. So I guess we are virtually ready. We'll be moving these troops to New World as soon as the war is over, it seems, as we're currently having some problems here with a Moroccan navy. But I can just beat that, and then we'll be moving our troops over. We'll see how it goes. So, black news indeed. We have lost a point of stability here. Isabel the First, the Trusted Mar, will now rule our glorious nation. 023. Not too great, but not too, well, not too great, but rather shabby, to be honest as well. So, kind of glad I won't be that I won't be being the Castilians for too long here. We are getting our army up to the Mayas, and I guess we'll explore most of their country before we do anything else. I guess we'll also go ahead and raise our own stability here. I guess that is the best move, and we'll also, of course, then land these guys here. So I do have a new heir already, Maria, 551. That's pretty good stats. Although I would have preferred that the admin points actually were, or the 5 were military rather than admin. But for now, we'll go ahead here, do a full, well, exploration of the area, and then we'll decide on what we'll do. Hopefully, we'll end up with the result that we want. What I could potentially also do here to make things a little bit easier on myself is, so as you can see here, I actually got the Iberian wedding, although I don't actually have anything to do with the Aragonese. Ferdinand II, King of Aragon, was married to Princess Isabella of Castile in Valladolid in October 1469. This was a marriage of political opportunism, not romance. The court of Aragon dreamed of a return to Castile, and Isabella needed help to gain succession to the throne. The marriage initiated a dark and troubled life in which Ferdinand fought on the Castilian and Aragonese fronts in order to impose his authority over the noble oligarchies, shifting his basis of support from one kingdom to the other according to the intensity of the danger. Despite the political nature of the union, he loved Isabella sincerely, and he considered Ferdinand the savior of his kingdoms, a bringer of unity. Others despised him for having oppressed them. Machiavelli attributed to him the objectionable qualities of the Renaissance prince. So I can bind, as you can see, we can get that personal union, but there will be 12 noble regiments in Asturias, or we can marry local talent instead, and we'll do that because we don't want a strong Castile. That we definitely do not. What we want here is to be able to create a Castile that is fairly weak and that we can potentially exploit and destroy down the line. Although getting Aragon could potentially have been a good thing, I will not be aiming to do that. Simply, as you might imagine, for the sole purpose of making sure that I will be able to pull off what I want to do. So, I guess we'll stop the relations improvement with Portugal. We'll break the alliance soon enough. Start doing some rather questionable things, and all in all, we'll be trying to annex this area here, allow the AI to convert it for us, and then I guess we'll start the war. Because if we go into colonial map or the colonial region, if we annex this area here, it will actually become a big colonial country, and that of course is very much a benefit because we can then use that to our advantage. So I'll cancel the military access, walk back to the borders, and then we'll straight out to an annexation, and then we'll see how the colonial countries actually appear and how, to some extent, how they work. We'll see how it turns out. There is one little problem here though. In order to actually attack these guys, I have to declare war without casus belli, and that of course is very expensive itself. I have no idea if I can actually go for the full annex since I'm declaring war without casus belli. I am hoping, but I'm not really counting on it, so what we will do of course then is hunt down this army here and aim at destroying it. We'll siege their entirety of the lands, and then we'll see if I can straight out go for the annexation or if I have to do something else. That should be able to figure out fairly soon. So we'll see how it turns out. We can take the next idea here, the overseas exploration, which gives an increase in colonial range. Wow, colonial range, and also we get that extra colonies and a little bit of discipline. All in all, that is fairly well, because we will be starting, I guess. See, can I now send colonists here? No, it's still far too way too far away. I can't even send them over here, as you see here. So what we might actually have to do is try and find the island up here, or basically just to some extent try to boost our colonial range far enough. I have no idea if I can actually do that once I take the area here. We'll figure that out fairly soon, but I would presume that I could use their colonial range. So I will be annexing the Mayas pretty soon here. And it wasn't really that much of a battle. It was more the fact that their armies were a little bit, well, hard to get rid of. But as you can see, the sieges are basically all that remains right now, and apparently there's a lot of people that are hitting military access. So I have no idea who France is actually at war with right now, but it would definitely be interesting to do a quick little check on that. So who are France actually fighting now? England, the Palatinate, Venice, Corfu, and Portugal. So that is kind of an interesting matchup here. There's also Neapolitans in Morocco. What I'm kind of more interested in here is simply getting rid of Granada once and for all. So I guess we'll just do that. I will release Granada and also the Galicians here as the vassal once I'm done. And I'll probably also just allow them to keep one province as, well, more or less the gateway to the ocean, so that I actually have a way to get there. I could potentially then just get friend Portugal once I actually get this done, and I think I'll probably end up doing that. So for now, we'll wait for the siege of the Mayas to finish, and also of course Granada. But once that is done, I will get back to you, and we'll see how things turn out. There we go. As you can see, we have sieged the entirety of the Mayan, well, kingdom. And I believe I can go for that full annexation, and I'll do just that. But as you can see, it's also fairly expensive diplomatically. So I should probably not have spent all my diplomatic points at once here. And let's see, if we do rival them, how expensive will it be then? Probably the same. Yeah, exactly the same. So if I take... As you can see, I can actually take provinces for free, which is kind of weird, but I'll take all of them then, and we'll simply take that last one further online. But it's kind of weird that I can take all of these, so, well, I guess we'll simply take Peden a little bit later. But there we go. As you can see, I do get that new colonial nation straight away. You need 5 provinces in the same colonial area to make this work, and I guess we'll just go ahead here and call it, well, Castillian Mexico. And if I now want to actually break free here or change them, simply do this. Release one of your colonial subjects. I can release them a little bit down the line. I believe I can't be in a war or something like that. Probably that's why it's grayed out, or because it's simply a completely new nation. Doesn't really matter that much. But I guess we'll go straight away here and declare war on Zapotec. And once these things actually become they actually got calls on everything at once, which is quite good. Can I now? Yeah, as you can see, I can actually send colonists now to boost these guys, and we'll do just that. We'll start colonizing, and we'll colonize within the limits of the colonial nation, simply to build up power and thus be beneficial here for myself down the line. I'll probably keep the colonizing game up for a little while, but probably not for too long here. Italian ambition. Well, I guess we can take that, although it simply gives prestige now, which is kind of annoying. Nothing to do with that. I'll also, I guess, kill the natives off just to make sure that I don't actually end up in any problems with the provinces here. So we'll send colonize to both of these. I believe they are within the. Yeah, we can colonize down here, and it would still belong to colonial Mexico. So we'll go ahead and I guess slaughter the natives in both places, and also, of course, the province below here. And once we've done that, we'll yeah, I know I'm very rude, and of course I pressed that without seeing what the Portuguese actually took, but it probably took a couple of provinces in. They actually took provinces down here. No, they've actually started colonizing already. Have they? Yeah, they're also going for the exploration idea, so Portugal might actually end up being a enemy down the line here. But as long as they just stick to Brazil, should be fine. I guess we'll take action. As long as they just stick down to Africa, not Brazil, should be fine. And yes, we might actually fight them, but the main goal here is simply to vassalize Castile. So if Portugal actually grows strong and to some extent becomes a troublesome foe for the Castilians, that would also be beneficial for me. Although I'm already speaking about myself in negative terms and, well, kind of being real negative about the future. I guess it still has something to do here. But yeah, I need now the AI to convert these provinces for me, convert them to Catholic, and also most likely create some claims. Well, no, not claims, calls. But as you see, they are actually started to convert them. So we'll just go ahead here, continue with the Zapotecs, and just take as much land as possible before we change over to direct rule ourselves. So I'll just fight the Zapotecs, and then I'll get back to you. Military attack 6 has been reached, the Arquebus, and with that we get a increase in military tactics by 0.25, combat width increased by 2, and of course infantry shock by 0.3. So all in all, pretty decent updates. And also, as you can see, a Zapotec is very close here to falling. All that remains is now simply to wait a little while. Also, I'm going to set up a third colony here, simply because we do have the money to make that work. The colonies do take quite a while here to actually come done, due to the fact you only gain 50 people a year. So growing by using colonies will take a incredible amount of time, simply because of the fact that it's a rather slow way of doing things. So I guess what we will be doing, of course, is just continuing on like we have done now, take down natives, and then I'll most likely start colonizing by myself. I might want to get a fleet over here and an explorer, and simply use them for the sole purpose of finding the islands here, because if you take them you can get quite a lot of money, and I can to some extent also stop the potential trade here into the Western European trade node, and as such Europe itself will of course suffer a little bit, but the ones that will suffer the most are definitely the Europeans, because of the fact that they won't actually get any extra money from overseas here. So all in all, it should be a win situation, and we'll also go ahead here and as you can see here, just go ahead and deal with the Aztecs. So once all this is done, I'll get back to you and see how it winds up. The fourth idea here, Land of Opportunity, gives a global settler increase plus 33%. Or 33, which means that we almost double the amount of, or the speed at which the colonies will actually grow. All in all, also a pretty good update. And apparently there are some Pima here, or another people that I can actually add to colonial Mexico. So that is of course good. More targets means, well, more colony, and in return a bigger, well, source of power than if I hadn't taken out the natives. And of course, as one might imagine here, that'll definitely be a priority. And there'll also be a ton of rebels here that I kind of have to deal with here. The nation will also your faithful allies because they come to raid in the... So yeah, as you can see here, there's not actually anyone that can harm me, so I'll just go ahead and accept that. And for now, we'll just continue here dealing with the Aztecs. And once we have that is fairly over. I thought I'd send... Oh, I managed to send these guys to the wrong... I managed to send them to the wrong place, and apparently now they are losing. So that kind of sucks. But as you can see, this is kind of the problem. There will be a lot of patriots and other people rising up more or less, which means that I will need a decade or two simply to make sure that my colonies will be able to defend themselves. That I want... Let me rephrase that. I need to make sure that once I release myself, I won't be trampled down by rebels. And the only way to really do that is by allowing a decade or two to pass, where I simply protect myself or protect my colonies more or less, and then release them. So that is what we are currently doing. We are simply focusing here on protecting ourselves. I should probably have gone for a military guy, and I probably will do that next time I get a choice. As you can see, that event is an event where you choose who you want to, well, I guess I should say rule your colony. It's a viceroy. You basically decide who should take care of the colony and etc. So I should probably have chosen a military guy simply to make sure that things work better. And of course we get a comet as well. Comet sighted. Peasants are always superstitious, and the appearance of a comet in the sky has caused a panic among our people. They are convinced that this is a sign that the end of times is near, or that something bad is going to happen in the near future. It's an omen, and the end is nigh. So that is also something fun that Paradox actually adds of fun and fun. Usually when they make a major patch or update, they add another, how should I put this? They add another alternative to that event, just to make it a little bit more flavorful and you despise it more. And in this case, the end is night is what they added. But as you can see, another perfect example of the rebels that would rise up and be a nuisance and an annoyance. But as you can see, they also slowly but surely converting this to Catholic, and once that's done, it's basically... I apologize to whatever happened. My game just crashed. I hope you got that last thing I was saying here about the religious map and that they are currently converting the lands for me, which is quite good. But yeah, right now things are, well, there will be some tough times here. We'll definitely have to deal with the rebels. That'll be the main concern. But for now, we should be fairly fine here, and we should be able to make it work. But once again, it will take some time before the land is stable enough for me to actually be confident in with taking over. So for now, we'll just continue with dealing with rebels, with the natives and like. And apparently the Indians have moved, which is kind of weird, but I guess that is part of the game, so shouldn't complain too much about that. Also, another interesting thing, as you can see, the lands you add on later on, they don't automatically become cores, so there will be some extreme overextension due to this, and that is also a reason why I might should consider taking it slow and not conquer as much as I'm currently doing. But it should be fine, hopefully. But this is the end of this episode. We'll continue next time. Next time I'll probably end up going independent and start the fight more or less. But as you can see, I will have a fairly substantial base of power, so it should be fairly interesting. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you around next time. Bye.